Hey guys, today you joined me for a little extra video in KSP. This is a Kerbal Wars extra because I was attempting to launch my carrier today because I've been playing a little more Kerbal Wars just because I've had a little time off from revising, as I am relatively busy, as I'm sure many of you know, with all my exams. I'll only have 3 left, so we will be returning to regularly scheduled programming reasonably soon. But anyway, as you can see right now in this about 10-second pause, this was not going very well because it's a very big carrier and it's very hard to get it stable given the new fairing system, which is kind of makes my carriers a bit hard. I have launched this sort of thing in a fairing before, but this is much bigger and much more complicated than before. So this actually had a metal frame on it, but only on 2 sides as opposed to the 4 sides it should probably have to stop it rocking 2 ways. Ooh, but then we just got a frame of something and then an explosion. And yeah, I thought this whole thing looked really awesome, so I thought I'd leave it in. And yeah, you can see parts just falling about there and the rocket exploding. And it was just a bit of a mess, but yeah, I kept recording because I wanted to see what had happened, and I wanted to see if I could maybe even save some of these Kerbals. We've lost quite a lot of the carrier at this point. It's all just a bit of a mush inside the fairings, but some bits have escaped. You can actually see a little bit of metal there that I was using to, I was using it to, hold the carrier together. Yeah, so basically getting a carrier into orbit now is very difficult, and this is a much bigger, much more complex carrier, slightly less. A little heavier, actually, a few less parts, but it's a much better carrier than Odin, and it's actually got a pretty serious mission coming up. Basically, I could probably do another Kerbal Wars right now, but it would just be loads of random stuff that no one really wants to see because I have a bit of a story arc planned, and this carrier is fairly important for it. But anyway, and you can see this was trying to keep it in the air, but then the rocket flips round and. Well, it is pinned to the fairing somehow. It's quite dedicated to being pinned to this fairing, it appears. But now it's dragging it towards the ground, and it looks like the end for little Bob and Greg Furt. I believe that's their names, but I can't really see because low resolution post-production thing. But yeah, anyway, but it does look like it flips. Well, it does flip round just before we hit the ground. We lose something there, but I'm sure it's not that important. But just before we hit the ground, we start going back upwards, and at this point I'm thinking maybe I'll get to space and it'll be a really great video. But yeah, not so much. So yeah, it starts to tip a bit more, and you can see lots of bits of armor pressed up against the fairing, and it starts to. Well, no, it's still got me pinned, which is a bit weird. At some point I speed up time just to end this. And then it just starts flipping around even more. And you can see how gigantic the rocket is, although it is really small compared to the carrier, because the carrier is just so tall. But it's so much empty space that it's not that heavy, so the rocket can be quite stubby, but that does make it reasonably unstable. And the fact that it rocks around like a madman, that's also a pretty big thing. So yeah, when did I speed it up time? Because that's when it gets really interesting. This video does get a little. There are a few more awesome looking bits of stuff. But yeah, you do get this weird thing in Kerbal Space Program that when you decouple a rocket, it just kind of sticks to you, which is a bit annoying. But I don't. Well, no, in real life it would just break. Anyway, as I speed up time, you can see it all stops and then just explodes. And there's a great cloud of carrier. You can see some engines there, some fuel tanks, lots of wing surfaces, which I'm sure the physics engine is literally crying about because it's a reasonably complicated thing. But it looks like we're all just falling back to Kerbin now to slam into a ground, but we still have our capsule, which is nice, and I'm not letting these fuckers die because, I don't care about Greg Furt. He's just a red shirt. He can die like hell. Anyway, Bob gets out, but a little early maybe, but in the explosion, it appears he lives. He fucking landed that and then lands again. That's a baller. I think he should be promoted to badass, and you can see just the carrier hailing down around us, just explosions everywhere. One's over there, little bits of explosions there. He's just lying down at this point. Oh no, he stood up. Yeah. Oh, and something looks like I didn't quite hit us. That was close. That'd be great if that killed us. And another explosion over there. But yeah, the carrier really fell apart. This is the main reason I decided to actually do this video, just because it was a great landing, and watching the carrier fall apart around me was just quite a cool spectacle. That was the main part of this video, I think. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna mess around and play in this broken bit of spaceship. Whenever you find broken spaceship, just play with it a bit. I hope one day I can deorbit one of these on like Duna or something, after a battle or something, after it's been wounded and it's forced to deorbit because it's got no engines and it's going down, and just to glide it down enough that I can land it kind of so it's slightly sticking out of the ground and there's enough left that it's obvious that it was a carrier. I think it's probably a Star Wars thing, but I think that'll look awesome, man. That needs to be a thing. So yeah, I might do another one of these. I might do another proper episode in a week if I can get things working, because I'm coming to the end of being busy, and you know, I just love making these videos. And if not, maybe just in a couple of weeks or something, there'll be a proper Kerbal Wars episode. What is it? I don't know, 8 or something. But yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.